Hello everybody and welcome to my review of One Piece chapter 1031 titled The Soldier of Science. Primarily this is about Sanji, although Oda once again focuses on other areas and other fights. We got an awesome colour spread, by the way, with the second in commands, the right hand man of respective captains. So we got, to start off, we got Rayleigh, who was the right hand man of Roger. We got Ben Beckman, who is the right hand man of Shanks. We got King, who is the right hand man of Kaido. Katakuri, who is the right hand man of Big Mom. Killer, who's obviously the right hand man of Kid. Marco, who was the right hand man of Whitebeard. Beppo, obviously the right hand man of Law. Shiryu, who's the right hand man of Marshall D. Teach, aka Blackbeard. We also have Sabo, who's the right hand man of Monkey D. Dragon, who we still don't know what happened to Sabo just yet. And finally, we have the right hand man of the Straw Hat Pirates, Zoro, obviously the right hand man to Luffy. And given the way this chapter ended, I wonder if that was kind of a reference to what possibly be foreshadowed with Sanji and Zoro, but I'll go into that by the end of this. So let's start off with the most obvious outcome of the previous chapter, and that's Big Mom being succumbed to awakening by Kid and Law. Obviously that didn't do the final damage, as I suspected. It was either going to do some significant damage and not end the fight, or it was going to end the fight there. Turns out Big Mom emerges from the rubble, but she took some damage, so did Kid and Law. I remember what Law said, I'm only going to use awakening if my life is on the line here. So they better be prepared to spam awakening, because Big Mom is getting serious, because she busts out of that metal debris like it's nothing, and then she's like, life for Oshiruko. Uses soul pokers to snatch the souls of the Kaido's father, and ends up making herself even more bigger. So that's a problem. Although it kind of reminds me of what happened with Gecko Moria in Thriller Bark when he did the same thing with the shadows. And I said a while back, maybe the same outcome's going to be here. Only this time, instead of Luffy punching the shadows, you're going to have Kid and Law. Primarily, I think Kid, to like smash out the souls of Big Mom. Hera and Napoleon are separated now, so you got you got more homies to deal with also. Big Mom looks menacing as all hell, as well as Prometheus and Hera on the other side with Napoleon. Like I said, Kid and Law have to dig down deep to take down Big Mom, or Big Mom is not going down in this arc. So Law quotes like, I can't die here because I need to uncover the history. So if anybody had a connection to Robin outside of the Straw Hats, it's got to be Law. So just saying, Kid, like, no more holding back, we're going all out. Boy oh boy. So while this is going on, Big Mom's getting bigger. We go over to where Yamato is, and because of the mess that Big Mom's caused, because of the debris that's fallen because of Kid's attack, Yamato can't get to the weapons that way, so Yamato has to go to the Iwato chamber, which is inhabited by Apu and X-Drake's battle. And I knew X-Drake wasn't going to follow with Apu's plan. It just didn't make a whole lot of sense. And X-Drake's figured out how the attacks work, because Apu was like trying to nail him with a scratch, boom, and then you see X-Drake dodge. So that's pretty impressive when you consider the fact that Luffy, Kid, and Zoro weren't able to do the same at first without the help of Killer giving them instructions of what to do. One of the numbers notices Master Yamato coming through. An interesting exchange here, because Apu was like, okay, what is Yamato doing against Kaido? Apu tries to attack Yamato, in comes Drake, and then Drake and I guess Yamato, thinking that Drake is still with Kaido, blocks the attack, very on defensive. But then X-Drake's like, it's kind of like blown off immediately, because like Drake's like, oh, I abandoned Kaido too. So, and Yamato's like, oh, my bad, I'll leave it to you then. So Yamato goes running off. So that's pretty funny. And Pooh tries to attack again. X-Drake gets in his way, so that's why it cuts to the second floor. And then we get some development here with the second floor, with Robin and Brook being pursued by Cypher Pole. So now they're in hot pursuit. Robin knows this, and so does Brook. You got the father trying to like get Robin out of there, Brook. So they dive down to the next floor below the first floor, which I believe most of the Straw Hats are there, so that could be good. But Robin notices immediately them recognizes them from Dressrosa, and then proceeds to hype them up, like saying the ones in the mask are cut above the rest in Cypher Pole. I don't want to make this about power scaling, but the fact that Rob Lucci is the one in charge of Cypher Pole, considering the fact 3 times skip, Luffy beat Rob Lucci barely, and then the fact that Rob Lucci's ahead of Cypher Pole, CP0, you have to have impressive feats for like someone like Imusama to recruit you to that status, or the higher ups with the Gorosei, because if you fail the world government, there's no coming back. I mean, look what happened with Who's Who. So the fact that Robin it's kind of cool that Robin knows they're in hot pursuit, and the fact that Brooke's there. One of my scenarios is Brooke was going to hold them off, but Robin made the escape. I kind of want Robin to do something just for a character development, but I also think that, like I said in my last review, Oda's telegraphing that way too much. The fact that they're on Onigashima now, they have to escape before it blows up too, so they're in just as much trouble. And the other thing that could happen, and I think this is the most likely, is like Who's Who coming out of nowhere to like stop them. But obviously the biggest part of the chapter is obviously with Sanji, and we come to find out, well, 2 things. Number one, Sanji is in a different location from where he was previously with Queen, or I'm kind of wondering if this is what happened before he went back to Clay. In the panel that we saw in the previous chapter, where we saw the monster trio going up against the Calamities and Kaido. So I wondered about that, and I'm wondering if this is what happened before Sanji went back. So it's obviously a girl went down. Now it's heavily implied that Sanji didn't know what happened, and the other geishas there are kind of blaming Sanji for this, because Sanji bumped into her, and Kaido, according to her, Kaido's men brought her here, not knowing what was going on. So either she's playing tricks, or Sanji unknowingly actually hit this woman. So I don't know what's going on there. If that's some sort of scheme here, or if that really did happen. Even Sanji's kind of questioning himself right here, because this is exactly what happened on Whole Cake Island with Niji when he hit a woman. Sanji comes back to Queen. We get one of the biggest parts of development for his character, in my opinion, in Wano. He's questioning himself, hey Luffy, which version of me do you want around? Do you want me how I am, or do you want me to be able to take down Queen easily as a soldier of science? So that's where the title comes in. Able to coldly execute anyone you order me to. So his mentality's changing a little bit. So I don't know if he really did hit this woman, but if he did, boy, is that an interesting twist for Oda to take. But either way, it leads to Sanji's going to put on the raid suit. Queen's like, yeah, do it. And then Sanji's like, nope, crushes the raid suit. So there's no more raid suit tin for Sanji to use. He's not going to lose himself anymore. So that was cool, because guaranteed. And if you notice, while this is going on, his leg ignites. By the end of this chapter, Hell's Memories, which I love, because it's a great callback to when we first saw it. Queen's like, oh, what a waste to see more. But this guarantees whatever power-up Sanji's going to get is going to come with its own. And the fact that Sanji's body's already adapted to the raid suit anyway, so it's that Sanji's like, oh well, farewell to my dreams of being able to spy on women in showers, being invisible. So that you can't do that anymore. You can't spy on Nami anymore. Sanji's on a Dendamushi, and we go to the outside of the dome where Zoro's taking on King, and they're clashing. And I find it interesting that Sanji's calling Zoro while this collision is going on. Zoro's like, what the hell you want? I'm kind of busy here. And Sanji's like, yo, we're going to beat the beast pirates. And Zoro's like, yeah, hell yeah we are. And then Sanji's like, after the dust settles, if I'm no longer myself, I want you to put an end to me, put me down. So the fact that Sanji realizes he could lose himself because his body's he's already adapted to the raid suit, so there's nothing they can do about that. It just depends on how Oda decides to execute with his power up. But maybe the power will actually have that much of a cost, a drawback, to where he loses himself, and Sanji's like, okay, if I lose myself, off me Zoro. And Zoro's like, okay, cool. I got something to look forward to, so don't die, Sanji. So I like that, because this is the first time they've actually been this kind of nice to each other. I do like that, because Sanji's thanking Zoro. When the hell's the last time Sanji's ever said thank you to Zoro, ever? That's kind of cool on the interaction between Zoro and Sanji. We don't get much of that. The last time we got anything clear to like, I mean, it's obviously care for one another, but they're just hard asses about it. It's kind of like Goku and Vegeta. How Vegeta interacts with Goku, you know, he kind of cares deep down, but he's kind of a hard ass about it. Same thing with Zoro and Sanji, especially with Thriller Bark, with the way Sanji reacted with seeing Zoro after the aftermath of what happened with Kuma. So yeah, so Sanji disappears again and then comes in with Hell's Memories to nail Queen and ignite no pun intended, he literally ignite the fight between Queen and Sanji. For the first time in this fight, it's gotten a whole lot serious now. And that's a hell of a way to end the chapter. Like I said, I like the way that Oda decided to like balance it out and like go to different parts, but mainly the chapter was there for Sanji. So I'm wondering where Oda's going to focus next. It should be either Scratch Man Appoo versus X Drake, or it should be, technically speaking, it should be Raizo and Fukurakuju, because they're the only two fights before the Straw Hats and the Supernova fights with the Yonko. Also, going back to what was with the color spread with Zoro, I'm kind of hoping when we do go to his fight with King, the three things I want, and it's more or less the same thing I wanted with Black Maria and Robin, which we got, which was development, a power up for Robin, and a chance to like learn more about what she did during the time skip. I'm kind of hoping we get the same thing with Zoro, although we know he's going to be pushed. We know I kind of want to see him do something new, and I'm not talking about Ajira. That would be cool. We've seen that against Kaido. So I'm kind of hoping he does something new. And the final thing to me is like finally learning more about if Zoro is in fact a descendant of Ushimaru Shimatsuki. If we find out what that connection is during this fight, I kind of hope we do, as well as learning more about King's race, the Lunarians. So that would be kind of cool. I just thought it was a great chapter. It was a good chapter, solid chapter for Sanji in his development. Didn't expect it this quick, but we'll have to wait and see where that goes. That's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like the review if you did. A thumbs up. I appreciate that. Subscribe to have more One Piece. Catch you guys later. Thanks, guys. Bye.